Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we are successfully able to log in. So now if you put your appropriate email address and the password, then it will be displayed as a successfully logging, rather than when you put any inappropriate email address and the password, then it will be display one of the error message as a password not matched, right? Now I want to storage our this token. Here you can see when you successfully logging, then that actually pass one of the token, the user and the message. So I want to storage this token. So if you want to storage this token, there have also one of the method now we have to declare. That means we get all the tower data, that means all the tower response data with this response, right? So now I want to do with this response, I want to storage this data, not that console log. I want to remove this console log right now from to this position. So now I want to storage it in our local host. That means if you go to our browser, into the browser, if you go right now, better I want to do and to make it as a into the left position here. And here if you go to that application, into the application area, you can see that is actually our local host. So now that is our local, you can say local host, and that is our local host. So here I want to load our token. Okay, so if you want to load this token, then you have to do here right now, that is our response, and into the response area I want to add that as a local storage. So with this local storage, there is also another default method as a set item. So when you want to store any data, then you have to use that as a set item. When you want to get any data, then you have to use that as a get item, right? So in fundamental I have already covered it. So now I want to store this data, so that will be as a set item. Okay, so with the set item method, here I want to pass our which things. I want to pass the token. Okay, so I make it as a token, because here when you successfully logging, actually is passing all the things, right? It's passing that our token. So if you go to that our network again, so you can see that's passing that token. So now I want to pass it. So that is a token, and with this token, that is will be with this response, right? So now with this response, I want to pass with this data and then our token. Okay, so I simply pass this token in our data area. Okay, so now I simply pass it. So when it should be successfully pass this token, I want to add another method as a set state. So with the set states area, I want to pass as a logging as a true. Okay, so now I want to do after this I want to add as a this, and with this I want to use that as a set states, set and then state. Into the set states area, I want to pass that as a this user is successfully logging. That means that will be as a logging true. Okay, logged in, I make it as a logged in and then true. Logged in will be as a true. So I simply pass it in here. So that is a logging true, which is totally fine. And when it should be as a true, that means when this user will be logged in, I want to redirect this user to the profile page. I have already created that profile. So I want to pass it to this profile page. So if you want to also do that work, so then in our this render, into the render area, we have to work. Okay, so now I want to put some of the note for you. So that will be as a after logging redirect to profile. Okay, so redirect to profile, this type of things. So I want to put on the if condition, if, and then I have already passed that things in our states, right? So you can see I have already passed that in our set state. So now with this set states we can actually get it. That means now I want to use it as a this and state. So into the state area, I pass that as a which things, I pass that as a logged in, right? So that will be as a logged in true. So I pass it as a logged in. So this logged in, here I want to pass it when it will be as a true, then automatically I want to return with the redirect. Okay, redirect to, I want to use that redirect to our profile. So I have already created this. So now that should be return redirect to our slash and then profile. Okay, so it should be return redirect this one, and also here we have to finish this redirect, and also we have to load this redirect. That means in our input, in our React router DOM, right? Into the React router DOM, I want to also use this redirect. Okay, so make that sure you load it, which is totally fine. Okay, so now that means when this user will be logged in, it will be storage this token in our local storage area, and then after that it will be return redirect to our this profile page. That means this slash profile URL I have already created in our header. Into the header, you can see there is a profile. It should be load our this component as a profile component. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now I want to do everything is green, that means they have no error. So now I want to check it, click as a refresh it again. Okay, I refresh it again, and now I put that appropriate email address and the password as a Kazi12345. okay, so now that is a kazi@gmail.com and the password. And now I want to check it in our application, and with the local storage here it should be inside one of the token, and also it should be return redirect to our profile page, right? Now let's check this out. Without loading that page, everything will be happen. Now click as a login. So now it's not loaded. Go to that network. They have some of the error, invalid email or password. Invalid email password. So there is a Khan@gmail.com. Not that Khan, that will be as a Kazi, right? You can see he's passing that our appropriate message, which is totally fine. There is a Kazi@gmail.com, not that Khan, Kazi@gmail.com, and password as actually the Kazi12345. So now let's check this out. Now I also want to check our local storage. Now click as a login. Yes, you can see, friend, now that is successfully redirect to our which page? Successfully redirect to our profile page, right? And also you can see it's now inserted our token. So that is our token. I have already passed it. So now everything should be very clear to you. In our local storage, with this set item method, I pass this token. So now it's successfully logged in, and here I pass that as a set states as a logging true, right? That means this user is logged in. And also after that, when it should be as a logged in our states area, I pass that value as a logged in. So when with this states I want to access that logged in, this logged in means that true, and then it should be returned redirect to our slash profile page. Yeah, you can see it's now redirect to our profile page without loading that page, right, friend? So now that is actually the static data. So now we have to also update this user. That means which user is logging, this user name will be visible, and this user email will be visible, right? And also our token is inserted successful. So now, friend, one things now you have to understand. Like here right now, this profile data. So this profile data is important. Like if you go to our network, so when you go to that network in here, when you successfully logged in, like here I successfully logging, right? So this user data we have to actually take. So this data we have to take in our different pages. So we have to receive this user all the data. So if you want to receive this data, first of all, you have to understand which things is the common. Like if you go to our home page, into the home page, our neighbor is the common. If you go to our profile, the neighbor is common. The logging page, register page. So whatever the page you actually created, so every time this neighbor is common, right? So into the neighbor area, I want to pass this user data. Okay, so into this user data, I want to pass it. So then whatever the places you want to load this user data, you can actually get that things from to the neighbor. Okay, so how can do that work? In our next video, I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.